Hi, James.
Hello.
I'd like to talk about the issue with Ahmad's class, and I'd like to summarize what you have written on Discord.
Hello.
Hi.
Are we waiting for other members to start? Or we started by silence? I was thinking tonight I'm gonna be chair. I forgot to reschedule again after I canceled last week meeting. I thought that I will be chair tonight, and then I seen announcement that chair James is chair, and I would like to schedule for the next week to be chair, because I didn't know that I have to reschedule again.
You might just ask if it's okay if you're chair.
I was
if you
sure,
want to.
I was sure that I'm chair, but tonight after Ahmed asked and then discussion start in board of director, that's why I checked the announcement channel and then see that you wrote James as a chair, then I didn't ask. Okay, no problem, next week.
Well, maybe it's a good time. I mean, I would like you to be chair. So, yeah. James has taught 2 classes. He's not feeling healthy. Maybe he would like someone else to be chair.
I have no problem. Is it okay, James, if I be chair tonight? What about Ahmed? Is it okay?
I am okay, Fatima.
Okay. So I don't know about James. He didn't talk. He doesn't speak, but I think I can be chair tonight. So we have Ahmed, Nelly, James, and Munmi will join us some minutes later. Claudet is and Mohammed Ejbara is absent. So do you want to be? Yes.
I just would like to hear, or yeah, I think it's very interesting. The situation is similar to the overall situation. Thank you.
Yes. Do you want to be secretary for the session? Because we don't have.
I can be secretary.
Okay, or we can start with any agenda item you like, James, and you and Ahmed. Let's get started. If you want to add any other agenda, or just by reading that written in agenda channel. Yes.
Well, I see a new agenda item, which is about this. Right now, we have one person who was scheduled to be chair and one person who thought they were chair and would like to be chair. And so how do we determine who is the chair then? And in particular, if the person who was scheduled, who originally has the right to be chair, doesn't respond to the question if they're, I'm used to this negotiation style where you propose a criteria and then the person who has the role can accept or decline the criteria. So
okay.
What's happening right now is a bit unfamiliar to me, but yeah, sometimes we, yeah. Curious about
yes,
this.
I'm not familiar about your principle exactly. That yes, you are not familiar, because I started immediately, and maybe I'm wrong, but as I see James is silent. I asked for starting, and he didn't respond, and I consider it as he doesn't want to be chair. But I see that he's written chair there after his name, then I think you are right. I shouldn't be chair tonight.
It's a question. I'm curious about it. Who is chair of this meeting? So that's my agenda item. I'm gonna write it in the channel.
Does we need before to reschedule again if a meeting canceled or not? To reschedule for being chair again?
Well,
if it's so, then I didn't.
It's your agenda item.
I'm talking about your agenda item, about
okay.
who is chair.
So we're already in discussion on the.
Yes.
Well, to my understanding, every class has a time slot and the teacher. So for the meetings, I think it's the same. If we have the time slot and the teacher, then yeah, it can happen that it gets canceled. It can't happen. But then you need to say again, at this other time slot, I want to be the teacher or the chair.
So as I didn't reschedule again, I can't be chair for tonight, right?
You are not chair originally, but you could become chair by wanting to be chair. I think that would make sense
at the
to
moment.
Me.
So if I at the moment I want to be chair, is it okay, or I have to reschedule before?
Well, yeah. Let's hear from. I think you could become chair if you negotiate with James and he doesn't answer, respond to your criteria or to your negotiation. Then you would be automatically the chair. But you haven't proposed a criteria, so yeah, maybe that he's not responding. So yeah, I think you're chair, in my opinion. So I'm curious what other board members are, how other board members perceive this issue. Anyone else?
I joined late, but what I understand is that James is in the chair, but he's not responding, I guess. And Fatima wants to be the chair for this meeting. And I think, and Nelly, you said that if the board is ready with Fatima's decision, then she can go. And I think if James is not chairing and Fatima wants to, then I think she can go. But I actually want James to respond, or
we all want things, don't we? Often from other people, but don't always get what we want.
I think for some time, as the time is running, if the meeting has not started yet, I think that Fatima should take the chair if James is not ready.
Yeah, the problem is if we don't know if he is ready or not.
Let me call him. Let me call him. Hold on. James,
I asked you.
they're wondering if you're ready. Yeah.
You didn't respond.
I told them. They didn't listen to me. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I don't really have time to listen to this right now. I'm at a board meeting. It's hard. Can we talk about this another time? Yeah, I know. Things often sound very important in the moment, but sometimes, if you just give it a little time. Yeah, just give it a little time. Breathe. Yeah, that's right. Good. Okay. I'll talk to you soon. Okay. Okay. Yeah. All right. Bye. Yeah. He said that it's okay if
Oh,
Fatima is the board,
great.
the chair.
Hmm.
Oh, he said it's okay. Okay.
Glad to hear that.
Yeah.
Thank you for calling to him. So our agenda items, you can start, Nelly, by reading them if you like.
Well, I'll drop those that are not relevant for me anymore. Fatima, change the name of Sex Public channel to Sexology. Fatima creating an online library channel in the group. And I think Muni has cancelled 3 of her.
Yes. Yes.
There's a time change coming up end of October for James for the United States. That's mine. Fatima creating a channel for writing new learnings, discoveries, satisfactions, and dissatisfactions in this group. Munmi creating a channel for drama. The question, how does the board of directors want to handle a situation when teachers or board members want to schedule a meeting or a class, and there's no confirmation by the head teacher. Does the board want to just go with that, or do we want to look if that works well for us? And Fatima confirming the scheduled classes of teachers by teacher coordination team and not just by the head teacher. That would be, I think that's linked, those two.
Yes, thank you. And who would like to start first by their items?
I'd like to add an item.
Yes.
This connection between myself and James. I get the impression that our work is not so running well right now, and I like to explore that.
Okay, do you want to start with your items, Nelly? Okay.
I've read on the board of directors channel on Discord that James perceives me as, or you, well, that's a summary of what I understand, that you perceive me as hostile, and my way of engaging in the group with you, James. I think that's the main thing I get from the summary. Would you confirm that, or did I miss something?
Hostile, yes. I believe my words were like a shark smelling blood in the water, looking for any evidence of blood.
Yeah, you perceive me looking for anything that I could criticize about what you do, and jumping on that.
Yes.
Yeah, for me, I think it's a similar experience. Or maybe I get an impression that whatever I do, it's wrong, and it's, yeah, I think I am acting hostile in this sense, that I get defensive, and I pick on things that are frustrating. I assign them to James, and I even if I'm not really sure about how I would want those things to be handled differently, like, oh, this authority person is the problem, not that I myself don't know what I want. Yeah. I can see that dynamic. Anyone else?
You are muted, or I can't hear you, Nelly.
Me? You can't hear me?
Now, yes.
I have said anyone else.
Actually, what I noticed in board of director was kind of details, confirming the teachers when they schedule their class, and James didn't confirm them, and we don't know the reason why. Maybe he forgot, or maybe he didn't want. We don't know the reason, and nobody asked the reason, and nobody pay attention more to. I didn't notice that Ahmad is scheduled for today, and maybe other members as well. So I don't know what James think about this.
I'll tell you what I think if you care.
Or not?
I'll tell you what I think if you care. I asked and I didn't get any answer. You say that Ahmed was scheduled for today. Well, then why was he not around when he was scheduled? And if Ahmed was scheduled, why couldn't I get an answer about where he was going, or whether he was scheduled? I asked him, and he said he's leaving. That to me is he's not scheduled. And my conversation, my attempt to gather information, right? So I'm not given the information to work with from the start. And then my attempt to gather information is interrupted by Nellie the shark, who wants to change the subject into the head teacher did something bad. So it's an act of sabotage against the head teacher from the people on the teacher coordination committee. Basically, the teacher coordination committee does nothing except come in and sabotage the head teacher from trying to get information about what the hell is going on from the teacher. In this case, a member of the board of directors. So if we can't get information from teachers who are not part of the board of directors, not even part of the teacher coordination committee, how could, let me rephrase that, right? We can't get information. There's no information traveling between the teacher coordination committee. It's not the teacher coordination committee, it's the teacher sabotage committee. The teacher sabotage committee is holding information and then using it as a weapon against other teacher coordinators. Trying to get information from Ahmed about what is going on. You know, when did the miscommunication happen? What was stopping the information from flowing? No answers to that. All that happens is it gets used as ammunition to attack me back, virtually guaranteeing that the teacher coordinators cannot work. The board of directors wants to ignore the disconnection between me and Ahmed. Even though I say it over and over again, the board wants to ignore that fact, that there's no open interaction, really strained interaction between me and Ahmed. And then Nelly wants to come in and attack me about my side of the strained information exchange.
So you are saying that there's a poor connection between board of directors, especially teacher coordination team, and the next point that they ignore the disconnection between you and Ahmed, or the difficulty of connection between you both. They intentionally ignore it.
Yeah, right. Nelly is silent continuously, but then I say what's going on for me. I say, I'm finding it impossible to work with Ahmed. I'm finding it impossible to work with Ahmed. I'm telling Ahmed, this is what's happening. It's making it impossible for me to work with you. Nelly does not come in and join me. Nelly comes in and attacks me and says, well, you're a bad head teacher. Okay.
This is Emma. Am I summarizing you, or just I give my opinion about it? Yes, I summarizing you at first.
Yeah, it's better to summarize.
Yeah. You talking about your conversation in the board channel with me. We speaking about my class and the board of director meeting, and you talking about the Nelly as a hostel. She's hostel and jumping and complain something like this. And you talking about the disconnections with me, and you said that like that is impossible to work with me. Is that correct, James? Is that correct or not?
Yes, it's correct, I think.
Yeah. So to be honest, there are happened in this group we making the small problem the bigger problem. How I can see it, because I am not exposer in English language to describe this idea, but the making the small thing, small problem, big problem in this group, we lose the main purpose, and we lose the people who have the quality. And we thinking with the halfways if that is good for us or not. That is very normal. Teachers, member of the board of director ask you because you making the schedule, you and Nelly posting the announcement about the delay schedule in the difference group, and I am wondering about my class. I am wondering about my class, and you forget it. That's not my fault. That's your fault. So, and I am coming, and I ask you, and you have the conversation with me. And I am actually I cut this conversation because I know that make a lot of the problem in this by this conversation.
Thank God.
No,
I am done.
you haven't started. I want to be
no for you, but yes for me.
that. Yeah, I know. So no,
Yes.
I want to be joined. What I got back was a big bowl of blame for me. Basically the same thing that Nelly has been saying, which is I'm a bad head teacher. If I was a good head teacher, blah, 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 I would have done these things. No, I don't accept it. Nothing that I'm saying is getting through. Basically, what Ahmed is saying is I focus on basically the way I work is making people leave. So Ahmed is blaming me for people leaving, for focusing on small things like being able to communicate with Ahmed. Apparently that's a small thing. Getting information, basic information about our workflow, that is apparently a small and unimportant thing. And my raising that as an issue is the result, is the cause of people leaving. What there isn't, what doesn't exist in this group is any sympathy for how how impossible it is to work with a teacher coordination team this hostile to me. So I want to blame Nelly and Ahmed back for Claudette leaving and for other people leaving and for a head teacher being unable to work. I still don't feel I have a satisfactory answer about why Ahmed did not tell me that he wanted to teach. The answer I'm getting back is, I wanted to sabotage you and I wanted to show everyone what a bad head teacher you are. You didn't do what you're supposed to, which is confirm in a timely manner, right? And therefore, I helplessly fell away into an ocean of nobody cared about me and nobody cared that I taught my class. That's what I'm hearing from Ahmed and from Nelly. Right? My question was pretty simple. When did you realize that you were not getting put on the schedule, even though you asked to be? And we had an answer, and that was 10 UTC this morning. The class was supposed to be at 15 UTC. So there were 5 hours where Ahmed could have said, James, I asked to be put on the schedule today. Did you know that? Did you intentionally leave me out? What's going on? But he didn't. He sabotaged it by staying silent, and Nelly admitted it too. Nelly said, I knew what was going on and I stayed silent too. So they both sabotaged my ability to work. The teacher coordinators sabotaged me with their passive aggressive attitude towards me, which is, if James doesn't do it the first time, we'll stay silent. And then as soon as he fails, we'll come in and say, I noticed you failed 15 minutes ago. I've been silent for 5 hours, but I just wanted everybody to know you failed. Now I have to go. Now that everybody knows you failed, I can't answer your questions about my participation or my role in the failure. I just wanted you to know you failed. I was supposed to be able to teach, but because of you, I couldn't teach. And then, like a tag team, Nelly comes in and says, yeah. What kind of crap is that, head teacher? Okay, great. So good for you. You got me. I failed. I wasn't able to pick up on Ahmed's desire to teach. And then my next question, which I also did not get an answer for, which is, how do you feel about having stayed silent? No answer to that, because I guess that's one of the other unimportant things that Ahmed thinks is creating problems, right? Asking people how they feel about what they're doing. Unimportant. So I don't get an answer to that. I could tell you how I feel about you staying silent. I'm furious. You come into my class and share links to the group, sitting there in silence, knowing that you're supposedly supposed to be scheduled to teach next. You don't remind me of that. So it's all up to me. I'm the one. I have to remember everything. I have to notice and confirm everything. What's the point of having a teacher coordination team if you're not actually working with me to coordinate teachers, namely yourself? Can you even coordinate yourself? Apparently not. So why are you on the teacher coordination team? Is this like a, I massage you and you massage me, I coordinate your teaching and you coordinate my teaching? Or are we a team working to get teachers on the schedule? I'm done.
James, you are furious because, and you think that the teacher coordination committee is sabotaging you, blaming you without understanding, and especially Ahmed and Nelly, and you do not accept it because you think it is Ahmed's. I mean, Ahmed has been silent, and he in fact he came today to the class, but he shared the link, but still he didn't inform you that I had a class. I wanted to schedule a class, but it was not confirmed. I mean, he should have given that information, but instead of that, he stayed silent, and now he is blaming you, proving you that you failed doing your job. You have failed in doing your job, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And I join you. I'm also frustrated with Ahmed because he comes, like once in a blue moon, he will come and say something, and then he will leave without any information. When he's coming, when he's going, we don't know. And I never knew about. I missed the post. But I'm really angry when he said that he was asking about his post, that about schedule, and you were actually giving him a hint that what is he doing. If he has scheduled, then what he is doing here, so he could have gone and attend give the class, but he was waiting for you, and he is also a board member. And so really, and I'm also, not, I'm also angry with Nelly. She should also have, since she knew about the schedule, she should have informed. I mean, both of them have informed earlier that today there is a Ahmed's class scheduled, but it is not confirmed. It should have informed earlier, not on time, or should not have been in silent, because we all are working together, and maybe someone sometimes may miss it, but another one can come and remind us. That's the way we work. Just like I forgot day before yesterday about your added class, but then Fatima come and reminded, and then Nelly then could schedule it correctly. So we work it this way. And not responding is really irritating, which I can see from Ahmed all the time. What is important, he does not discuss, or he doesn't want to understand. I don't know, it is his language problem, or I don't know. I don't think it is language problem, or purposefully he ignores. I don't know, but he ignores things. At least out of courtesy, he should come and talk. Anyone else?
Yes, Nelly, you said that we responsible as a team to work together, to remind each other. It's not irritating if we respond to someone else or if we remind the other board members. And to say that Ahmed, this connection with the group, within the board members is obvious. And yes, I joined you in this case. And as you heard, he says that the main purpose is different. I heard that the main purpose for him is different. The main purpose for board of directors. The main purpose for us is first to connect to each other, a kind of meaningful connection first happen between boards, and the team working happen. And he just, as I understood, he just focused on schedule teaching and sharing the link in class and his own job. This is my job and I have to do it perfectly. And then if someone else forgets something, I noticed that he started blaming that, did you forget? I told you this kind of phrase that he's using that I don't like really. And it's break actually the teamwork and the work that we are doing as a team here for coordination, teacher coordination, or as board of directors.
What did you say? It's Brecht?
It's break the connection.
Break. Oh, it breaks. It breaks the connection.
Yes, break the connection, yes.
Ahmed has left.
And now
the
he's leaving. Yes, he's left. He left.
One more example I would like to give, because this is my personal, so I was not mentioning it, but since it is within the group and it was his job. I remember for my first class, Nelly said she will create my event. And then it was Ahmed was about to do that, but he didn't let Nelly create, nor he did it. I mean, I don't know how he works here. Because it is in my case, so I remember it, and I don't know how many teachers he has missed. I don't know, but it was
Yeah.
in my case, so I remember it.
I remember that too, that maybe I created the Facebook event, or I announced it, or I said something, and he immediately said, hey, that's my job.
Yeah.
And I asked him,
Yes.
oh, if it's your job, why didn't you do it? And he had no answer. Yeah, that has happened before. Now, in this case, I actually really just didn't know that I didn't confirm his class. I would have happily done it at any time that he reminded me, or that anybody would have run. If anybody had said, James, did you see something that somebody tried to confirm a class, but you didn't confirm it? If anybody would have said that, anybody at all in the group, I would have gone and I would have confirmed it. But nobody said anything, not the teacher coordinators, not the board of directors, no teachers, no students. So that is the situation I'm in. A field of silence, people wondering, James, why don't you do everything while we sit and watch you on a stage alone? We noticed that you forgot your lines. Ha ha ha, you forgot your lines. Yeah, I forgot my lines. So what? Like I said, did he really want to teach? Because if he did, stay and teach for the next 45 minutes. You've got your class. Now it sucks to teach in that way. And maybe he's upset. Fine, be upset. He's not going to be the only person in the group who is upset and disappointed about something. That's exactly how he could join, and we could have some connection. Now, I don't know why he left now. Maybe it's internet. I'm happy, to accept that it's internet, that he often has an internet problem. Okay. But what I can't deny is that the fact that he always has an internet problem is a huge barrier to working together with him. If every single time we have a conversation, and it feels that way, it doesn't feel like even 90%, it feels like 100% of the time having a conversation with Ahmed, there is either he leaves or there's an internet disconnection. And that's why I'm saying it's impossible to work with Ahmed. I love Ahmed. I don't just say that. He's dedicated, right? He's been here, and I give credit for the fact that he's here. But I cannot ignore the barrier created by whatever's going on. And the reason I don't think it's internet is because at some point, no matter what, he could come in and write what's going on. He could write about it. For God's sakes, he could write about it in Syrian Arabic and we could translate it. But he doesn't do that, even though I've asked him to. Actually, I asked him to 20 times. I think I asked him 20 times, could you write in Arabic? And I'm not sure if I even ever got a response to my words, right? And so that's the value of the internet in text, is that if you don't have the internet connection now, at some point you come in and read it. But he doesn't do that. And that's why I say it's not an internet thing. Because if he wrote and responded in a delayed way in text and acknowledged what was going on, then at least we could say, oh, well, we have an internet problem. We need to work around, but we can try to work with what we have for the connection. But that is where he doesn't meet me. And that's why I say I can't do it. And if you want to blame me for that, then I'm in a fight with you, because you're not acknowledging a reality that's happening, right? Nelly doesn't have to acknowledge it, but at some point, if Nelly and I are not on the same page about how difficult it is to work together with someone who does not respond ever to points that come up in the channel, I don't know exactly what kind of board you want to create. You want me to somehow figure things out and work with people who don't work with me. Can't do that. I'm done.
Wow.
Like
Ahmed
to
is
summarize
writing.
it.
Huh?
Ahmed is writing on board of director. I'm leaving BOD meeting.
He's leaving the board meeting for emotional reasons, not for electronic technical reasons, right? Well, he doesn't even say. See, that's the point. He doesn't say. He leaves it ambiguous. I'm leaving the board meeting. It's not an internet thing. It's like Fatima said, it's an emotional connection issue. If you want to pretend that we're working together but don't have relationships, then we're done. It's over. It's impossible to work. I don't see how we can work.
I guess he doesn't care about the relationship. The relationship is not important at all to him. Just doing work without any relationship, without any response. He doesn't care about response. It's a reality. And I think he knows that he doesn't respond and he doesn't care about response. It's not important if I talk about my feeling. Why you ask about me, my feeling? This is my mind read and emotional reaction now that left the meeting and then writing here about his leaving.
Fatima, you have a mind read of Ahmed that he has a strong emotion and he's stepping back from the meeting to not show up in a way that doesn't work for him. And also that he doesn't consider speaking about his experience, his feelings, or building the relationship with the people he works with is of importance to him. He just wants to do some work tasks that are creating something.
Yes.
And James, you were saying that you appreciate and like Ahmed, and at the same time you feel it's impossible to work with him. And
Yes, it's impossible to work with him. I mean, this is just a perfect example. This is a perfect example of what makes it impossible to work with him. Because actually, he doesn't want to do the work either. He doesn't want to do emotional work, also does not want to do the cold-hearted, non-emotional work, which would have been to confirm his own teaching, right? If he just wanted to do the cold work, he could have just said, I'm teaching. I scheduled myself to teach. I want you to know that I'm teaching. This is when I'm teaching, right? That would have been the cold work. Didn't do that either, wanted me to do it. And he wants me to do it and doesn't want me to have any feelings, or who knows what he wants. That's the whole point. There's no way, because if I ask him, if I have a mind read about him, I get no response. That's what makes it impossible to work. What was my mind read? What did I check with him? Yeah. What do you feel? All right, so that's not a mind read check, but I had I'm pretty sure I had a mind read also that I tried to check with him and didn't get an answer.
so you see that him, it's not just him not only doing the physical work and not the emotional, the being aware of his experience work, but through not being aware of his experience, he's also neglecting the physical work that we need in the group to be able to function.
Yeah, like how about that was my question. Why didn't you just tell me? Why didn't you remind me? Right? That would be not relationship wise, that would just be teacher coordination work, right? You knew that a teacher had scheduled something, but you stayed silent. Why didn't you tell me? Right? How can I work with, if I don't get the basic informational answers, how could I work with somebody? I don't see.
That you were asking, he didn't give information that was part of his responsibility as teacher coordinator.
I would like to think that that's part of the responsibility of teacher coordinators, which is to have a discussion about the schedule.
Yeah.
If not, what is? What is the job?
Yeah, discussions about the schedule or uncertainties about the schedule, that's the main purpose of the teacher coordination team.
Yeah, he said, there's a problem with the schedule. I said, oh, help me to understand it. And he said, I'm leaving. You're chairing a meeting. Oh, are you coming? No, he's not. Well, he came and then left. I mean, it's totally unpredictable, totally unreliable. And it's just totally broke. I mean, it's just broken into 1,000 pieces. And it's nothing new. I mean, this has been going on with Ahmed forever. I mean, I've been trying to work with this, trying to work one piece at a time.
Okay, back to you.
I want to say again, I mean, this is exactly what Claudette did. He's copying Claudette in the sense that Claudette and I were not in the same subgroup. And when Claudette discovered that, she left rather than working with the group. You want to make me the group. You want to make the group live or die based on me on a daily basis. And they're kind of getting what they want. Right? That's why Claudette said, I had so many hopes about this group, but you failed it. Ahmed basically said the same thing. He said, you know, we could do something else, but you didn't. Okay, I didn't. I failed the group.
I feel he can't make decisions. And all the time wait for others.
Since you
The
say go ahead, Nelly.
Is the meeting open for everyone now?
Yes, it's open for everyone. Yes, and as well as for court members. 30 minutes left. Do you want to say something, Nelly?
I know I was following on YouTube today's classes and I saw that Ahmed was on in the class speaking. And I knew that he had planned. So I thought, yeah, they will just slip in his class. And then I was doing some other stuff. So I didn't point it out at that time, but I thought he would be able to secure his class. And I was really disappointed when he didn't.
He was actually silent, and he started sending the link, and then James initiated the conversation with him, and then he asked if he can start with that narration part. Then he was participating in drama.
Yeah, I heard a bit of it, and yeah, I was then at some point when I looked back after in between with my family work, I saw that the live stream had stopped, and I was a bit surprised. And yeah,
yes, he should have talked then, and then in the gap he could have used that gap. There are so many times that during the gap any teacher can volunteer and then start. So the same way he could, and later it could be scheduled. But he couldn't take this decision.
I also didn't get an answer from Ahmed about the Google Calendar. I still don't know if he can see it or not. I've tried to I added his email address, and I still don't know if he can see it or not. That's one of the things where I'm waiting for an answer for him.
And you don't speak up. See, you're kind of doing the same thing you did with me, which is you asked about the Google Calendar, and then you drop yourself. Like, he didn't give you an answer, and nobody else knows. I mean, that vaguely sounds familiar to me. But if it was really an issue, you could say it again.
I've said it about 3 times. I don't know how much more often I shall say it.
Well, you could have joined me on how frustrating it is not to get a response from him, but you're not joining me on that. And that is relevant.
And now I'm just raising that now.
Okay. Well,
I'm frustrated that he came to your class, but then didn't stay for teaching. And I'm frustrated that he doesn't answer my Google Calendar thing, because I think it's really important for teacher coordinators to be aware of what's planned in the next week. And I don't want to make a picture of the schedule for 1 week and give it to Ahmed, just that Ahmed has this picture, because I first want to try and see if he can look at the calendar. Yeah, I don't like
the question is, what prevents you, as somebody who's working in the same subcommittee, working with somebody for 6 months, what is preventing you from having that information exchange? And what is preventing you from coming to the group when that happens, not waiting for Ahmed to leave, but before the person leaves, coming to the group and saying, there is a disconnection here. I tried to get some information and I couldn't get it, and I don't know why. I've asked 3 times. I don't even know if Ahmed has heard any of the 3 times, or if he's just purposely not answering, right? If you stay silent on that, then then it's with you. And the group and this is the consequence of that. Actually, you're seeing the consequence of that silence right now, which is the boat crashes into the shore. Gets a big hole in it.
I don't perceive myself so very silent. I've spoken a lot about the Google Calendar, and I've spoken a lot about the head teacher not responding to confirming classes. And my experience with this is that it's just going down the toilet. It doesn't reach really. I mean, I'm just observing this. I'm really curious about it. I've tried to just mention it again and again and again in the teacher coordination subcommittee. I've talked about nothing else than about my frustration nearly, and that it's not working, that 1 or 2 people are not doing their jobs. and they are also not proposing to do the jobs a different way, and I'm not getting a response there. So I'm really curious if that's how I want to proceed, to just, or if I want, yeah, I'm bringing it here because I think it makes sense to talk about it as a group here. So yeah, that's a different problem. I have the problem with Ahmed, but I have a bigger problem with James actually. And so I'm bringing I've talked about my frustration, my problems with James, the way James participates in the teacher coordination team. And yeah, I mean, I love that James has a good sense about what classes or meetings should happen or not, but and I see that he's sick and he doesn't, it's not a good idea if he does a lot of work and read stuff that's annoying to him. But I want, as a board, I want to stay able to make decisions, and I'm just wondering where all these words that I create, where they go. Does anyone read them? What do other people? I mean, I saw that Fatima has proposed that we just, other people as well can confirm classes, and that's one way to do it, but I don't really so much very much like it actually. But yeah, it's a different idea, and I want to know about what others think. Yeah, anyone else?
Yeah, so Nelly, you actually got frustrated with James when he doesn't respond in teachers coordinations committee, and you don't know how to proceed to work. And you also are thinking of Fatima's agenda that all the teachers coordinations committee can decide on or confirming the schedule rather than just head teacher. And I want to join Fatima, but not the whole teacher coordination committee. But I think we should, two persons can work on confirming the schedule, whoever is available at that time. I don't know, it's a kind of similar thing only. But if James is not available, then some another person can also confirm it. So that was my idea. Anyone else?
Yes, you are saying that not all the team, but two of them can confirm if the head teacher forgot about confirming their scheduled classes. You agree with this point for confirming meetings? As I noticed that Nelly is scheduled for Treasury subcommittee, I think, right, Nelly? And ask James for confirming that, and I think she didn't get any answer. This is my idea, I'm not sure. For meeting and for scheduled classes. So we can remind James first by tagging him, maybe,
Yeah.
or one or two other
of
subcommittee just confirm that.
I just want to tell you that it is not an information thing alone. It is an emotional issue. And if you want to keep pushing on that, I don't know how to tell this. I don't know how to say it more strongly. If you try to ignore the emotional thing and just treat this as like James just didn't do his job, I think you're going to have a train wreck with this. I don't think the solution is getting more people to confirm. Now you could try that and see how it goes, but I think what we're working with is a microcosm of the group. And if the three of us or the six of us are having communication problems, how do we solve having communication problems? Do we just get in people who, right? It's like, I'm trying to talk to Nelly, but Nelly is not answering me. So I'm just going to bring in Rosa, right? That's not really how relationships work. We're kind of faced with the fact that people don't do what we want them to. And that's really what the issue is. And I don't think you're going to be able to force that. You might solve one problem, like you'll get the confirmation, but you're probably going to create two more problems. Because there are problems for having two people driving the bus at the same time, which is what happens if different people are confirming and they're not on the same page about who should be teaching or who can teach. So it's true, I have not confirmed Nellie's treasury meetings because now I'm not going to say that I did it intentionally to sabotage Nellie, but I would say it's unconsciously to sabotage Nellie and to sabotage the group in hopes that the group pays attention to my concerns. Namely, Claudette, right? I mean, the issues that happen with, I mean, a million issues, right? The reason I haven't been pushing it is because there's a million issues. And if you push people to do it, it doesn't work either. So I'm not pushing people to pay attention to the issues that came up for me. But there's, it's a real issue. It's important and it's real. And leaving the board meeting out of frustration doesn't help it. It makes it worse, right? So I mean, in a way, there's a kind of, we have to come together and determine how we want to deal with this, because it's not just me. It's also Claudette and it's also Ahmed.
James, may I summarize?
Yeah.
So you see that if we have a problem, the board has a problem, and if we just try it to solve it with making it easier to make a decision, or by making two people able to confirm classes, then it's not gonna solve the emotional component that you have some dislike of what is asked of you.
Can I say, actually, you gave us a really good example of how we can solve it by how you solved the issue in determining who was the chair, right? So I was scheduled to be the chair and I was not answering your questions, which created a problem for you. And you said, well, I'd still like there to be a chair, right? And so you kind of said, like, all right, we're gonna put James on the side, something's going on with him and we're going to chair the meeting. All right. There's something like that kind of needs to happen in cases where the head teacher is not confirming, or where a teacher coordinator is not working. I mean, at some point you say, well, look, this person we're putting them aside and we're doing this work, and we maybe have, it's a little bit tricky, as you saw with the who's chairing the meeting. It is a little bit tricky, that could have gone differently, but it didn't. It actually worked. You actually solved the problem.
So
you use that as a model.
Yeah, so you see what happened at the beginning of this meeting as an exact example of the dynamic that comes up again and again. One person is not responding in the way the other members of the board would like
want and expect.
The others want and expect them to act in a certain way.
Yeah.
They are doing something unfamiliar.
Not just unfamiliar. They're dead in the water. It creates like an obstacle, like they're sitting on the fence, right? They're sitting on the fence. They may not even know it. Or they may not care, but they're sitting on the fence. They're not making a decision one way or the other, right? And we can't,
So this person who has a role and is needed for the work to flow, they struggle to make a decision. They sit on the fence. They don't know which way to go. and they're not responsive. And then what can the group do to navigate out of this dynamic? And one way we have seen it today in the beginning, when someone else was felt energy to do the work.
Yeah. And actually, so you were doing, for a long time, you were not sure of yourself, right? You didn't just say, look, our chair is not responsive, we need another chair, bam, boom, let's go. You then copied the chair and you started sitting on the fence, and all of you were sitting on the fence. You're like, we don't have a chair, but I want a chair, but James is the chair, but he's not the chair, but James is the chair, but he's not the chair. You didn't make a decision, right? Is this person chairing or not? Like, am I okay with a chair just sitting there silently or not? You didn't make a decision either. And that that got you stuck in the mud.
We were seeing that the one person not making a decision led to other people copying them, also not making the decision. And then finally we found out of that dynamic. And it's not just you, it's all of us. And in particular, you, Ahmed, and Claudette, who have shown this behavior recently.
Yeah.
In a major way.
Now, I try not to allow other people doing something which is a restraining force I try to not allow it to induce me into similar behavior, but I'm not always successful at that.
You try to resist the pull of acting also indecisive when you see someone.
Yeah. I'll just say one more thing, I'll end. I could feel the pull to act to sabotage the group in a compliant way by canceling the board meeting today, right? There's a pull for me to do that. And I could see that it was an induction, that I didn't really want to cancel the board meeting. I was frustrated with being blamed for Ahmed's teaching being canceled, and I wanted to teach him a lesson. I wanted to say, oh, you think it's okay to cancel your teaching in that way? Well, I could do the same thing and show you how that messes up the group. And I realized that, so I undid it. I said, that's actually taking me in a different direction than I want to go. I'm not going to let a member induce me into that role of compliant saboteur. But I'm not always successful. Thanks.
Yeah, for the person, all those who witness someone who is doing something, taking on a compliant behavior, for example, everyone else might be induced to do the same, and then we can try to work and pull ourselves out from that and see refocus on what we really want. Yeah, I also have an idea about what we might do in such a situation. And that's, all this time where James was silent and not confirming, for example, my meetings. Silence is an action. He's not confirming it. So there's something, a subgroup active in James which doesn't like those meetings, and maybe another subgroup that's active that does like the meeting. So if I, as a board member, start exploring one of those two subgroups, then it gets easier for the person who needs to make the decision to join that discussion and also do subgrouping around that, explore both sides of why it would be good to have those meetings or why it wouldn't be good, and come to a decision. So actually, I'm not helpless in this situation. I can start the decision process that somebody else needs to make. Actually, I can start it by getting clear about what my own decision is, how I would decide, and speaking about that in the group. Anyone else?
What I understood from James and you is that in that situation, when the head teacher doesn't confirm the scheduled classes, someone from board of director must raise the topic, bringing the topic and speak about it and create 2 subgroups, what we want, what we don't want, and talk about it actually, like what happened today in the beginning for choosing the chair. So we expected someone to be the chair and the other person want to be the chair, then we talked about it. So if we just stay silent and don't talk about it, the problem doesn't solve. We keep the problem, but by speaking about it, and I said I want to be, and then asking the board of director, we solve the problem. So the same can happen in confirming the classes, the teachers. So in that case, if he doesn't answer and reply, someone else from board can not confirm, but start talking about that she or he wants to confirm.
You could be,
right?
you could
Is that
begin to
correct?
talk. Well, you see, that's the thing. It's the difference between confirming and just taking the work
Talk
away
about
from the person versus talking about how it's a problem for someone not to be doing their work. That's what you did. You said, oh, you know, we've got a chair who's not really chairing. What do we do? I'm not sure what I want to do. That is what then opens the doorway.
It's possible to open the doorway if the other members join. If anyone again stop talking and no one answer and join, if it requests all teamwork again, not only one person. As I saw before, Nelly spoke about it in teacher coordination team. I read before. And if Munmi joined her and I joined her and we talk about it, but if we just stop talking, so there's no way to solve the problem. So we need to all the team come and talk and join each other and speak about it.
No.
Fatima, can I? Oh.
Go ahead, Nelly.
Go ahead.
I just to leave it non-ambiguous. As long as you make it reliant on other people working, and in this case by speaking, right? You're saying everybody has to speak. You're setting yourself up for a barrier because sometimes people won't speak. That's the whole point. If you're saying everyone has to speak or else we all die, well, you won't.
So you mean it's my responsibility to speak, so I don't expect others to speak, right?
It depends what you want.
The person who wants, yes, the person who wants to speak about it, he can start talking. If I don't want, so stay silent, right? I can stay.
If you don't
silent.
care about the issue,
if I don't care, yes.
If it's not important to you, you can or you will probably stay silent. And if it's important, it's good to talk about it. And I think talking about that it's a problem that somebody does not do their job is just the first step, and maybe it's not even the best first step. I think the best first step actually is to imagine that you yourself are the person who makes the decision, and you yourself think about, why would I not want to do this? Why would I not want to confirm? Why would I not want to be chair? And talk about that. Or why would I want that this is confirmed? Why would actually doing the work, the internal work of the person who needs to do the decision, who has the role to do the decision? That I think that would be.
I want to coin a phrase. I want to coin a phrase called the paradox of authority, which is, as soon as I ask you to give me the authority, I have actually given you the authority. And that you see that all the time. Can I have the authority? Nelly, could you give me the authority? Right? teacher, could you give me the power? As soon as the person does that, they have actually done the opposite. And so it's a kind of contradiction. They're not doing it on purpose. We don't realize it, but in a way, we're not on the same page about who has the authority and who can have the authority. It's something we learn to take authority. We don't wait. We just do it. But that doesn't mean we always can, right? If you come to my class and say, I'm the teacher, then we'll have an authority collision. So
just talking about it and get clear about it.
I think that's the best way, right? We can say like either right? You saw, actually, it wasn't just as simple as you wanting to be the chair. There was other things going on, which is that you actually thought you were the chair or last week or something like that, right? And that was news to people. I mean, as soon as you said that, I said, actually, I don't know if I'm scheduled to be the chair. I showed up to be, I took Ahmed and Nellie's word that I was scheduled to be the chair. And then I said to myself, I don't even know. So what, right? And then you're asking me, I don't know. I'm just going to sit here silently as you guys figure it out, because apparently nobody knows who's scheduled to be the chair.
Yes. Okay, thank you. Just 1 minute left. If you want to say something in 1 minute.
Very grateful that you were chair, Fatima.
Thank you so much. I was excited at the beginning because the pace was a little bit heavy for me to start, but it was good. Thank you, everyone, for helping me to be chair today. Great experience for me.
This issue about the chair has been with us since the beginning of the group, and don't expect it to go away. It will never go away. This is the hot potato that people hold to learn about what it's like to be in a position of authority. And the heaviness that you talk about is what people avoid, either consciously or unconsciously, because you are the center. You hold the group together like the linchpin of the group. Even if it's just for 5 minutes, that can be quite, what's the word? Harrowing, like a trip down a river with, rapids.
Yes. Responsibility is fearful. Authority also is fearful sometimes. If I have lots of freedom, it makes me afraid. How can I use this authority? Okay, time is over. Last words.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good work.
Thank you.
Good work.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good night and day.
Have a good night and day.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.